Please welcome Jennifer Tress.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so in the late 90s, I was a single girl in my 20s. I liked to go out, I liked to party, I liked to hook up some. Okay, it was my slutty period, but what is your 20s for if it's not to be a slut, right? Well, your 30s too, kind of, right? Some people. The show that was on during that time that my girlfriends and I used to watch and talk about was a little-known show called Sex and the City. Anybody remember that one? We used to do that thing where we'd say to each other, "Oh my God, do you think you're a Samantha or a Carrie?" Or like, "You're being such a Charlotte right now." You know who else used to watch Sex and the City? Not Skitty. That's a weird show. I would watch that one. Sex and the City was my father, religiously. And he likes pop culture and entertainment, but he wasn't watching it from that standpoint. No, he was watching it to bond with me. And when we would have our weekly calls, it was him and my stepmother on the same extension, by the way. They both talked to me at the same time on the phone call. He would want to go through the episodes like in detail. So it would be like, "Did you see that one, Jen, where it was like Samantha, she finally meets the man of her dreams, and then they're in bed, and then he has a small, like, you know, ding." And then my stepmom would just cut in and be like, "Eddie, that's your daughter. You shouldn't be talking about sex scenes with your daughter." And he'd say, "She's fine." And I'd say, no, actually I'm not. I'm not comfortable at all with this. But to be fair to my father, he sort of understandably was drawn to women and womanly things. He has 4 sisters, 3 of them older. 4 to 5 mothers, because his own died when he was very young and my grandfather was the marrying kind. And then he wound up having 2 daughters. So it's just, I mean, what else is he gonna watch? Clearly. So, we talked about this a lot, and I remember even at one time when the Sex and the City, the first Sex and the City movie came out, you know, the good one. He actually made my sister and I reserve tickets in Washington, D.C. ahead of time so that he could drive down from Cleveland with my stepmom to watch it with us. He's like, let's just make a weekend out of it. So that was Friday night. And then on Saturday night, he insisted we go have Cosmos. Yes. So now there was a part of this that was sort of a darker side, I have to say, that was a little bit of a horrible torture. And this is where the Christmas thing comes in. Now, usually, in fact, not usually, every single year, my stepmom gets geared up right before Thanksgiving for shopping, right? And so she asks my sister and I for a list, and then we just get everything on that list. It's a very efficient, clean system. There are no surprises, but it's clean. And one year, I just could not think of anything to give them as an idea, just nothing. And so they were helping me sort of come up with ideas, like slippers maybe, and I was like, no, I don't need those. What about like CDs? No, I don't think so. And then my dad shoots in on the phone and goes, "I know!" It's like, great, reveal it to me, Father. Sex and the City clothes. What could Sex and the City clothes mean? And then my stepmom cuts in, "Oh my God, to go out, Eddie. That's a great idea. She can go out in these Sex and the City clothes." Now, I'm trying to picture what this could possibly look like because my parents and I have very different fashion templates. Theirs is more Midwestern Ohio, and I don't know really what you'd call mine, frankly. But back then, in the single girls' day, it was a little edgier, and I just wasn't thinking it was going to get. So I started sort of thinking about this. Oh my God, what could he possibly be getting me? What could these mean? What could Sex and the City clothes mean to my father? And I started panicking, and then I started going, no, that's okay. I don't like clothes. I hate clothes. Don't give me clothes. No clothes. No. And he just says, Sex and the City clothes to go out in, done. And with that, my father just railroads me. So it was done, and for a month I had to think about oh my God, when am I gonna open on Christmas in front of my sister, who was just really excited to see that and more than happy to, every time we talked leading up to the event, be like, "You excited about your Sex and the City clothes?" I know I am. And so the day comes, and they push this big box towards me, and they're smiling, and they're really excited, really anticipating my joy, and so I open the box up, and it is a dress from Talbot's. there's anything wrong with Talbots at all. But in Cleveland, in the 90s, it pretty much catered exclusively to the 50-plus crowd. So it just wasn't Sex in the City to me. But I faked it. Said, oh gosh, thank you so much, and then told them it didn't fit later, and like went and returned it. We all just sort of moved on from it. In 2004, my dad got really sick, and he almost died. And when he got out of the hospital, I made a trip home to come see him, and he asked me to bring just one thing, and that was a videotape of the series finale of Sex and the City, which had aired when he was in the hospital, and which I taped for him, and he hadn't seen it. And, you know, for all of my father's, like, in touch with his femininity self, he had one very masculine sort of characteristic, and that was that I'd never seen him cry, ever. And so as we sat there on the couch watching this finale, as we sat there and watched Big go and sweep Carrie out, you know, off her feet in Paris and bring her back home to her girlfriends, her real true loves, he grabbed my hand and I looked over and there were tears streaming down his face. And I just looked at him and he said, gosh, ever since I've gotten sick, I just cry all the time. I said, sure, Dad. Now, my father and I still banter a bit about entertainment. We banter a lot about TV, and right now it's Homeland. And he sort of asked me a lot of questions still, like, what's that guy's name again? And I just say, Abu Nazir, Dad. Thank you.